Good afternoon. It's April 3rd, 2023, and today we really just had a range day. If you look at the daily chart, it again looks like a very bullish day. Um, but in reality, it's just a range day. Uh, I really I don't think there were any trades that I would have a high amount of confidence in. Perhaps one of these over here, we'll go through it again and maybe I'll change my mind on one, but um, I just don't. I don't really like it. Today is very similar to last week, in that it was a pretty low volume day, um, pretty low volume day, and not a whole lot of trades. So I see one move or one area here. This could be a potential short, but we'll check it out. So we have this range in the overnight. Um, but you can see the bias is up just because we're making higher lows. We're bouncing off this midline. And this channel, this larger channel, maybe it's not valid because you can see prices close through it here and here. But if you drag it through these closes right at the open, this midline, prices are responding to it. And Mac has said before, and you can see the highs are holding prices. And Mac has said before, you see that sometimes in the overnight, where prices close through your trend lines and keep going. So because of the midline and because of the highs, I think that it is probably valid. But then this one is the one I was paying attention to, this yellow channel here. But let me make this a little lighter. So we'll take a look at these trades that I have marked. I don't have anything in the overnight. Let's see where 5 o'clock comes in. So maybe you take this lower high. That actually looks pretty decent. After this really quadruple test or triple test, you get this lower high. If there's room back to this midline, I like that. 32. Yeah. So I think I'd feel more comfortable going for 4 ticks there, because there's only 8 ticks back to that midline, and your highs would probably be drawn a little differently. Yeah, your highs would probably be a little higher. I'd probably have it at this top of this wick, which would bring the midline up, but I think that one should be good enough for a scalp. And then we bounce and you get a higher low, and then you get a failure right here, but we're in a range, so you're not really looking for a failure. And you do get a first entry, second entry, and that really like confirms this trend channel, but you wouldn't, in real time, I don't think you would have that, so I can't mark anything there. However, you do get a first entry, failed second entry again. Notice we make a new low, so that's a failure, but you'd probably only want to go for 4 ticks here. But we are making higher lows, so there are signs that we are going higher here. So you might take that one. You might risk that. This one, the trend channel's more clear. We come up here and no setups, and we just keep going higher. You get, I think this is an overshoot, because that's where the highs look like they are to me. If you drag it up here, maybe so. This kind of looks like it's touching off a midline. These kind of look like they're touching off a midline, so that could be it. In which case you do get a second entry long. Here I had to mark this green because to me it looked like this was the trend channel. So this looked like an overshoot, but this is a first entry, second entry long. It's off that midline. So maybe you take that. It's going into this trend channel and it's going into the EMA. But then when you get a higher low, see this one I might mark, or I might consider marking as blue. You get a higher low. Only problem is we hit that measured move of the overnight range. And then we make a lower high. But that's such a bullish bar that I like it. And so you get this move up. And this looks, may I say, this looks like a two-legged pullback to me. So I do like this one. I think you could argue for this to be blue. And then if you look at this, like a move up, you get a break, move to a new high, and you get a second entry short at the measured move, very bearish bar. You might consider that. It looks pretty good. But the reason I'm not crazy about it is because, I'm thinking we're going to get a pullback and another leg up. And as you can see, that's pretty much what happens. You get two legs of correction in the second entry long. Again, off that midline. This time we broke through it, so that's a little worrisome if you're going long. But I'm thinking we're going to potentially get another leg up, and that's an extremely bullish bar. So I'm thinking you're at least going to test the measured move. And then you do, and you get some bearish resistance, but then we get prices responding again to the midline of the larger channel. So maybe you take that second entry long. I'm not going to take it at this point. This just looks like you're too late. And you can see it makes a couple legs up before it completely turns. And you can see this level of resistance. And you get this lower high. I don't think I don't think there's anything telling you to go short here. So I don't think you can go short. I'll mark it. You do have a break of this yellow channel and an overshoot break, couple legs up to a new high. But this looks like a really bullish move up. So I don't think you can go short there, unfortunately. But if you did, the risk paid off. You know what I'm seeing now, though? When we get this strong move down, you get a double test right here. Right here. But it's so far from the EMA. I'll mark it green. So far from the EMA, I don't think you can take it. But if you're being aggressive, I mean, you understand what's happening. To me, we just hit the measured move and went a little further, and that's what I was looking at the entire morning. So other people, maybe if you have much more experience, you see all that, maybe you take that. Anyway, we continue to move down, bounce off the trend line again, and you get a break and a couple moves down to a new low. Get a double bottom here, right about at the midline of the overnight range. Double bottom, first entry, failed second entry short, but it's just congested at that point. So look at all that overlap. This really probably shouldn't even be marked, but I just felt like a reversal in real time, and that's what it was. And let's see. That's almost a perfect measured move. Two legs of correction. I don't see it. There's too much congestion in here. Breaks higher. And just a lot of overlap in here too. I don't think you can take any of this. They trap people on a second entry long. And then they take it lower, test this level of support right here. And you get this higher low. This higher low is pretty tempting, but there's only 4 ticks back to the EMA, I think. 36.75. So 3 ticks back to the EMA, but this looks good visually. So I think that looks pretty tempting to me. It's also a second entry long, I'm realizing. But you see, you get this level of support. It bounces again, and you get a higher low. And then we come up here, you get a break of this channel up, move to a new high, and then you get a lower high. This looks pretty good too, but it's just a lower high in this range. So these are risky. And then I don't see any way to get in on this move up. Look at all this overlap right at that measured move. Before it goes higher, get this lower high right here. And you get a second entry long after the first break. I'm not crazy about that though. Going into the EMA, not a good signal bar. I'm about to delete that. I don't think there's any reason to take that. That's how I saw it today. Just not a great day for trading, the way I was seeing it anyway. So hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.